خلي ايدك شمال راكد وفي حديدة الكف وطاب شفتك هزة القرطان باش تبان عليا في صدوري زيد ملي زيد دوري حديدة الكف وطاب شفتك هزة القرطان.
I was trying extremely hard to get out of this Biscoff chokehold that I was in, and I feel like I was doing a pretty good job. But these Biscoff rolls showed up in my memories. I made them a year ago. To this day, they're one of my favorite things I've made, but I never posted an actual video on them. I feel like that's not right. So here we are. Okay, I know I say everything is my favorite, which makes me an incredible sauce, but I swear in the moment I mean it. But then a week later, I make something new and then that becomes my favorite. I just can't choose. Anyway, for the dough, I heated some flour and water together until it thickened. Then added this into a bowl with the rest of the ingredients. Kneaded this for about 8 minutes and then left it to rise. You might have noticed, but I use the same dough for everything. This is why I could never have a recipe book. It would be 3 pages. Max. I always just use the same recipe, change a few things and call it a new one. It's all a scam. So once the dough had risen, I rolled it out into a rectangular shape, then added some Biscoff, then rolled it all up. The best way to cut this is by using some floss. I know most of you are musty, so you probably have never used floss a day in your life, so I guess you could also just use a knife. I left these to rest for 30 minutes, then baked them. Then when they came out, I brushed them with some melted butter. This is very optional. It doesn't add much flavor, it just makes them look shiny. But yeah, I drizzled some Biscoff on top and that is pretty much it.
You guys need to try this Lotus Biscoff ice cream. It's so good. Add condensed milk, double cream and Biscoff spread to a bowl and whisk to soft peaks. Then add crushed Lotus biscuits and fold these in. Scoop 1/3 of the mix into a loaf tin, followed by 1/3 of the melted Biscoff spread and swirl it through. Repeat this 2 more times, finishing with a drizzle of Biscoff spread and more crushed biscuits. Freeze for 6 hours and that's it. Enjoy! We are making a Biscoff souffle cake. Yes, Biscoff has come to New Zealand. Guys, this one was hoovered down in a matter of seconds, so you know it's good. Start by smashing up some Biscoff biscuits and mixing that with melted butter. Press into a prepared tin and set it aside. Beat some egg yolks, sugar, vanilla, and honey together until the mixture is creamy and pale. You're going to have to beat this for about 8 to 10 minutes. Then mix in Greek yogurt and sour cream until just combined. Then fold in some almond meal and corn flour. Set that aside. Whisk your egg whites separately until you reach soft peaks and fold them into your batter very gently. Pour your mixture into a prepared tin and bake it for about an hour so that it's slightly wobbly in the middle but golden on top. For the topping, mix together some creme fraiche with melted Biscoff butter, add that to a piping bag with some whipped cream and pipe that all over your cake. Drizzle some more Biscoff butter, crush more biscuits, go absolutely crazy with the decorations, then leave it in the fridge until you're ready to serve.
Biscoff Lotus Overnight Oats.
Hands on my
knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Post me a pic, finna make me a profit. When the liquor hit, then
Caramel Biscoff cheesecake. This is actually a bonus caramel recipe because my husband decided that that's what he wanted for his birthday cake. I thought he'd be sick of caramel. I said, are you sure you wouldn't like something with beetroot or tamarind? And he said, no, just caramel cheesecake. I did manage to upsell him from a digestive base to a Biscoff base though. And just in case you're interested, this is my husband. Okay, this is a 7-inch springform tin. You could also use a loose bottom tin. Now if your base has the option of a flat side without a lip, then turn it that way and it'll be easier to slide the finished cake off it. Line the bottom with baking paper. I lined the sides with acetate just in case it was easier for filming, but you won't need to do that bit. Then take 250 grams of Biscoff. That's 1 packet of the Lotus brand. The supermarket brands may have less in the packet, so check that out. Crush the biscuits as finely as you can and set aside 75 grams for later. To the remaining 175 grams of crumbs, add 100 grams of melted butter. Mix that well and dump it into the centre of your tin. Then you'll need 1 more packet of biscuits and use those to line the sides of the tin. Use the crushed biscuits as a sort of mortar to hold them in place as you work your way around. And when you've completed the circle of life, press down the base so everything is held firmly in place. Then stick that in the fridge. I used 24 biscuits for the edges, which left me with a handful to both pretend that I was in Les Liaisons Dangereuses and to have a little snack. Next, to a big bowl, add 200 grams of salted caramel sauce and 300 grams of double cream. Whip them together until they're evenly combined and have thickened. You can test the consistency with your finger and your mouth. Yes, that's perfect. This is 600 grams of full fat cream cheese. Fold that into the caramel and cream mix by hand. I avoid beating cream cheese because it can have a tendency to suddenly give up and go runny, and you definitely don't want that. When that's evenly combined, press half the mixture into your chilled base and make sure you pack it well into the sides. Then remember those crumbs that you saved from earlier? You didn't eat them, did you? Good, because now you can make a layer with them and an extra drizzle of caramel sauce, because why not? Then top with the remaining cheesecake mix and a spread of sauce on the level top and chill that for at least 4 hours, even better overnight. Then when everything's set and before you serve it, you can add some extra decoration with this sort of Matt Smith fez and some extra crumbs. And in case you're interested, Matt Smith was actually my previous husband. Then some extra caramel sauce and you're ready to serve. And as if I needed any further proof that my husband is the best man I know, he let me cut his cake on camera for you guys first before he got to blow out the candles. Thank you, my dear, and happy birthday.
I love making this Biscoff mousse because it's so easy to make and you only need 3 ingredients. So you're going to need some whipping cream, some Biscoff cookies, and some Biscoff spread. I made this for 2 people, so I took about 1 cup, and you're going to want to whip that up into stiff peaks. I don't have a mixer yet, so I just used my hand. Strongly recommend using a mixer though, because it took me like 5 minutes and my arm was about to fall off. You're going to melt some Biscoff spread in the microwave for 30 seconds and then 15 seconds and add that into your whipping cream. I ended up adding about 4 tablespoons all together. You don't want it to be too light or too dark, so feel free to measure with your heart. Put this into a piping bag or a Ziploc bag. Mash up your Biscoff cookies, they're going to be your base. And just measure with your heart. So you're going to add in your mousse. Actually, the first time I do it always turns out so ugly. But just make sure you level it all out. And we're going to do another layer of the cookies and another layer of the mousse. And then you're going to take that melted Biscoff spread and put it on top. Just make sure that it's cooled down a little bit so it doesn't melt into the mousse. Top it off with a little bit more crumbs and then add in 1 Biscoff